All right. And so I have prepared, so when we bring the jurors back in and announce it, I've prepared what is normally read, an edited version of what is read in qualification, not the actual preliminary instruction, communication instruction that I'm going to give the jurors before they leave. Additionally, I want to know whether the lawyers, I generally do not let jurors know that they're alternates, but they're going to know that they're alternates, I think. So do you want me to tell them? There is a procedure to tell them.
I do not think the court should tell them. Jesse, you listening?
Right. You asked if you wanted us to tell them or not tell them whether we asked them.
Right.
I prefer to do not, especially in a case where if there was ever a time we were going to get an alternate.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to read an edited version of 1.1, which is it's titled introduction, but it's an edited version of the communication rule, not exactly what I'm going to give them in the preliminary instruction. The preliminary instruction is more verbose, but it goes over the major points. Okay. Any problem with that?
No objection.
Okay.
All right.
And the court's going to swear the jury, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
I wanted to clarify because I told you I was going to read the communication rules, but I decided not to do that. I'm going to do 1.1 instead. All right, before we bring in the jury, Mr. Fernandez, will you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Sir, you solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, good afternoon. So same types of questions. I'm going to check in with you. That's what I'm going to refer to it as. Okay, checking in with you about how you're perceiving what's going on. Okay, and also documenting for the record certain major events. So we have concluded a multi-day jury selection. Have you fully participated with your attorneys in the selection of the jury that would try your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And again, I'm just going to check in, any concerns at all?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And so while, I don't think a lot of people really understand how juries are selected, it's actually a deselection process. And while you might have wanted, meaning selecting someone, are you in agreement with the lawyers on the people that were stricken for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And so in the striking process, you get the selection process. You understand what I mean? Like the state, you might have wanted someone, but they struck them, but you got to deselect the people that you wanted off the jury, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. And looking in total, because your lawyers took time with you over the lunch break, did you participate with them then in looking
Yes.
at each juror?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And then now looking at the jury that has ultimately been selected, are you satisfied with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, we are going to bring in the jury panel, remind them they just need to be seated somewhere, okay? Them all in. Mr. Hathaway is going to announce the names of the jurors, and then I'm going to just give them I'm going to swear them, okay, as a jury to try this case. Just numbers the whole time, and it remains their number, okay? I have to say names. I mean, you know what I mean. So, anywhere. You can be seated anywhere. Remember, anyone, you can be seated anywhere. It's always funny when I say that, everybody goes back to their regular seat. All right. All right, welcome back. You can be seated anywhere. All right, everyone may be seated. All right, good afternoon, members of the jury panel. Again, I want to express our sincere appreciation for your time and your willingness to serve. We were able to select a jury in this case because of the efforts of each and every one of you that are present in this room. So again, we thank you. In a moment, Mr. Hathaway is going to announce your number. And when you hear your number, you're going to walk forward, follow the instructions of the bailiffs to be seated in the jury box. And then those of you, if your name is not called, if you could just quietly exit the courtroom, you're going to remove your placard. If your name is not called, you are now officially excused from your service with our sincere thanks. And then also to clarify, any communication rules, if you are excused, are lifted by this court. And so again, thank you for your time and your willingness to serve. Mr. Hathaway, if you please announce the numbers of the jurors.
Number 85. Number 83. Number 82. Number 77. Number 68. Number 63. Number 62. Number 51. Number 50. Number 40. Number 39. Number 37. Number 29. Number 23. Number 9. Number 4.
All right, thank you. Members of the jury panel, you are now excused from your service with our sincere thanks. Oh, the excuse, they will. Okay. The excuse letters are available on 2401. I did. You told them? Okay. All right, thank you. I'm sorry. All right, thank you. The parties may be seated. Members of the jury, if you would please rise and be sworn in as a jury to try this case.
Please raise your right hand and answer aloud. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm that you will well and truly try the issue between the state of Florida and the defendant, Mario Enrique Fernandez Saldana, and render a true verdict according to the law and the evidence, so help you God?
Thank you. Members of the jury, if you would make yourselves comfortable, I have just some final instructions before I send you off, and some, notes about kind of what you should expect when I see you all again on Monday. To remind you where we are in the case, obviously we have now concluded jury selection, and so the trial is scheduled to start on Monday. I know it seems like it's been forever ago, but just to remind you what our working schedule will be during the course of the trial we will convene in this courtroom at 9:00. And so I know that you all have now come down to downtown several times, but obviously traffic is, hit or miss. So I would ask that you all get here early, where you park, where you meet, all of those things, some level of security is going to be covered by the bailiffs outside of court. And you all should remember your number. This is your name for purposes of this record and also your privacy. Okay. And so the number is going to replace your name. And you are going to be given a juror button or badge. When you all report in, you should wear that badge. When the bailiffs explain to you, you should put it on. I'm going to remind you of what I said earlier, that the lawyers reminded me of. You may see the lawyers around, or you may see Mr. Fernandez Saldana around. They are not allowed to talk to you outside of this court. That is their communication rule. They cannot interact with you in the way that they have been for many days now, kind of talking back and forth, asking you all questions, you all maybe asking them questions. Now that you all are sworn in as a jury to try this case, they will be presenting their cases to you through evidence. They will be mainly addressing me, the court, for certain legal rulings. And I will be guiding you along this criminal justice process by explaining the law to you, talking to you all about schedules. But the main interaction will be me and you. That is me, the judge of the law, and you all as the judges of fact. I'm going to remind you our roles are different, and they do not overlap, other than I preside over the entire proceeding because I have to keep things moving. And you all have a very important role, but it is a role that I cannot interfere with in any way, and you all cannot interfere with my role in any way. Does everyone understand that? All right. And so a couple of comfort notes. Everyone's been telling me how cold this courtroom is, and I think that you all have kind of figured this out, but I'm going to mention it anyway. I see juror number 4, she has her sweater on. I would suggest that you all bring layers. I don't control the temperature in the courtroom. Someone else does, and they don't really tell me who it is because I'd probably be calling them all the time because I'm always hot and everybody else is always cold. So I want you all to be comfortable throughout your service. And so I would suggest that you dress in layers. Additionally, the jury room that is behind this wall that you're sitting on, it is equipped with water and things like that. So you all can bring water bottles. I don't want you all, when the trial actually starts, to be like, oh my gosh, I can't drink anything. I think I heard a prospective juror say, I can't use a restroom when I want to. I will try to always take normal, regular breaks. But I have to also weigh and be cognizant of the flow of evidence. But I want to assure you, if you need a break, all you have to do is let me know. Okay, so just let one of the bailiffs know, and I will take a break as soon as I possibly can. So I don't want you to feel like you're somehow hostage, like you have to be in when I'm taking what I believe to be a normal break. If you need a break, all you have to do is let me know. You all will be operating as a group from this point forward, in the sense that you all have to all be present together before I can bring you in. And then you all will be excused as a group. There will be times that you will separate and go about your personal affairs, but still in that effort, you have to still follow the rules of the court. I will also say that out of basically that I'm putting paramount the communication rules, okay? You all will have sequestered lunches. The Duval County Clerk's Office, on behalf of the court, is going to provide lunches for you every day of your service. There are packets back there for the entire time. I believe it's a week. We're going to ask that you fill those out so that the clerk's office knows what you prefer to eat throughout your service. So you will not have to worry about those lunches, okay? And that's the clerk's office has gone above and beyond to make sure that they're organized and to make sure that you are taken care of. We care about that. And then the sequestered lunches will mean that you don't have as you don't have outside contact during the time frame that you're at the courthouse, okay? And that is an effort to preserve any outside court influences at all. And we don't want that to occur. And that is one of the precautionary things that we have done in consideration of this case. So I want to make sure that the parking and all that meeting stuff, that I'm going to let the bailiffs handle all of that. Is there any question that you all have for me at all? Okay. It doesn't look like it. I'm going to leave you with what we consider. Remember, I said sequestering can be physical. So that is the lunches. You're going to be physically sequestered. However, you're going to be able to go home at night. You're going to be able to have access to your phones during recesses and breaks. But it is so important that you follow these rules, and which I'm going to short term as communication rules. And so I'm going to read a form of those rules to end our session today. To have a fair and lawful trial, in this case, there are rules that all jurors must follow. A basic rule is that jurors must decide the case only on the evidence presented in the courtroom. You must not communicate with anyone, and that's including friends, family members, about this case, the people and places involved, or your jury service. You must not disclose your thoughts about this case or ask for any advice on how to decide this case. I want to stress that these rules mean that you must not use electronic devices or cell phones to communicate about this case, including posting information on the internet, emailing, or any other means. Do not send or accept any messages to or from anyone about this case or your jury service. You must not do any research or look up words, names, maps, or anything else that you may have heard during the course of jury selection. And this includes reading newspapers, watching television, or using a computer, cell phone, or the internet, or any electronic device or any other means to get information related to this case or the people and places involved in this case. This applies whether you are at the courthouse, at home, or anywhere else. All of us are depending on you to follow these rules so that there will be a fair and lawful resolution of this case. If you investigate, if you research or make inquiries on your own outside of this courtroom, I will have no way to assure that what you find is proper or relevant to this case. The parties likewise would have no opportunity to dispute the accuracy of what you find or to provide rebuttal evidence to it. That is contrary to our judicial system, which assures every party the right to ask questions about and to rebut the evidence being considered against it in a courtroom of law, and to present argument with respect to that evidence. Non-court inquiries, investigations of any kind, unfairly and improperly prevent the parties from having that opportunity that our judicial system promises. And any juror who violates these restrictions jeopardizes the fairness of these proceedings. A mistrial could result, and that would require this entire trial process to start over. A mistrial is a tremendous expense and inconvenience to the parties, the court, and the taxpayers. If you violate these rules, you may be held in contempt of court and face other sanctions that this court deems appropriate. If you become aware of any violation of these instructions or any other instruction I have given in this case, you must tell me by letting the bailiffs know. Members of the jury, I know that won't be an issue because you all have basically done this the entire week. We know that it's outside of your normal everyday way of dealing with, questions but we're asking you to wait. We're asking for you to wait to hear what happens in court, not to discuss it with anyone else nor each other. That is important. So I have more instructions to give you, and I want to again thank you for your time, your sacrifice, and your service on this jury. I will see you all Monday morning at 9 a.m. to begin this trial. You all have a great weekend.